All right, hello classmates. My name is Kyle Vansickle. I was fortunate enough to be able to use the conference room here at my employer to present my presentation. The topic that I chose for our project is penicillin, and then specifically I'm going to talk about the effects that penicillin has on bacteria. So moving forward with the agenda for today, what I'm going to review with you guys is first we're going to kind of start out and go over the introduction and the history of how penicillin came about. Also we will review the inventor, or the founder rather, who was Alexander Fleming. Next thing we'll go through is we'll talk a little bit about the science aspect and the chemical structure of the medicine. And then we will talk about how it works and the effects that it has on bacteria. We'll also review where the medicine came from and some more stuff that is relevant to our class. And then we'll talk about the relationship it has on the environment and just everyday life impact. And then we'll follow up with some conclusion and then talk a little bit about how many lives the medicine has saved as well. So to begin with, a little bit of a brief history of penicillin. Penicillin was the very first antibiotic discovered. So chances are you or someone you know has taken some type of antibiotic. Penicillin was actually the first one that was ever discovered. It turns out that the medicine was actually discovered by mistake, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. So it was discovered by a Scottish bacteriologist, Alexander Fleming. He accidentally discovered the antibiotic in 1928 when he came back from vacation and found that a green mold called Penicillium had contaminated a petri dish in his lab and was killing some of the bacteria that he had been growing. So he was intentionally growing bacteria. The scientist left, went on vacation, came back and saw that the mold was actually stopping the bacteria from continuing to spread. Some of the things that I read, Alexander Fleming was somewhat known as a messy scientist, so a lot of his lab and his area was never very tidy and clean. So obviously when he witnessed this, it led him to study a little bit more about the mold. So I kind of thought this quote was cool right up here. It says, I did not invent penicillin, nature did that, I only discovered it by accident. So this is a picture of Alexander Fleming, and so I thought that quote was kind of neat, that it was relevant to the class. So a little bit about Alexander Fleming. He was born August 6th, 1881. He also served in the Army and later studied to become a physician, a microbiologist, and a pharmacist. So one of the things that really led him to want to study medicine, when he served in World War II, he witnessed a lot of infections from his soldiers and other people in the area. So it really led him to want to learn more to figure out ways to help people. So something else that was interesting about Fleming is he was also known as a recognized marksman in the London Army, so which I thought was kind of cool. He also discovered lysine, which is an enzyme with weak antibacterial properties, which ultimately helped lead to the discovery of penicillin. So a little bit about the chemical structure and the scientific aspect of penicillin. Some common names. I'll try to do the best I can to say this without, chopping them up too much. But penicillin G is one. Benzypenicillin, benzoylic clinic acid, and then among others that are probably tongue twisters. So the chemical structure. This is actually the penicillin is a mold. It is also a double bonded mold. The molecular formula for penicillin is C16H18N2O2 or O4, and S. So obviously, as what we've learned in class, the different things from the periodic table is carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, and sulfur. So all of that is in the molecular formula for penicillin. And then the total molecular weight is 334.39 grams per mole. and then this medicine is actually classified as an antibacterial. So how does it work, and what effect does it have on bacteria? So what penicillin does is it actually goes in and it kills the bacterial cells, and it stops the infection from spreading to other places. So it basically goes in and attacks so that nothing continues to spread throughout your body. There's certain diseases that you can get, or the human person can get, that your body can't naturally fight that bacteria off. So what penicillin does is it goes in and it helps attack and kill it off to help you recover from it. It also treats staph infections, pneumonia, meningitis, urinary tract infections. So those are probably some of the more common uses that those of us that are used to what the medicine is used for. So where does penicillin come from? And then a little bit more about class relevance, the stuff that we've learned. So it comes from large containers. Basically the way it's made is large containers are filled with liquid and nutrients necessary to grow mold. So what happens is when the medicine or the mold starts to get stressed out, it grows even faster. What's really amazing is 1 million pounds can be produced per year, and we'll never run the risk of running out of it because it's a bacteria, so it's a mold, and so it's constantly going to continue to grow and grow and grow. So that's great that we'll never have a shortage on it. So other class relevance, when the medicine is being processed, it's actually purified by a biochemical process. So according to PubChem, some of the information I found, again, the computed properties, the exact mass is 334.099 grams per mole. The heavy atom count, so it's got a lot of atoms in it, there's 23. The isotope atom count is at 0, and it's covalently bonded unit of just 1. So relationship to the environment and everyday life impact. Penicillin is produced from mold and can grow anywhere as long as moisture is present. So again, no reason that we'll ever run out of the medicine. Sugar is added to the mold during the formation process. And also scientists have studied penicillin mold, and it produces the antibiotic penicillin. In their studies, they've determined the right amount of the substance produced to help the lives of many people. According to another website, Wiki Tribune, penicillin has saved the lives of at least 200 million people across the globe, which is obviously amazing that it's done that since it's been discovered. So it's very important for our everyday life. So a couple of things just to add for conclusion and to finish up here. Some of the lives that it saved. This Penicillin-The potassium is used to treat certain infections caused by bacteria, such as pneumonia and other respiratory tract infections. It can be used to treat scarlet fever, ear infections, skin infections. Dentists may use it to treat gum disease or mouth problems, and it also helps with throat infections. So probably strep throat, anything like that could be used, penicillin can be used for. And again, it just simply works by attacking that bacteria so that the body can naturally fight off the rest of whatever it can't do. So the next time you see a piece of moldy bread, it might make you think of penicillin and the chemical structure of the medicine, and hopefully in this presentation and this project that presented to you, you guys understand and know a little bit more about penicillin. And then the last page I have is just my works cited page. But in conclusion, penicillin is very much a medicine that has put on a huge impact for the lives of everyday people. And to think that it was all done by mistake is pretty amazing.